Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today, Marco, we're talking about some very special places, right?
That's right. Today, we're going to talk about the famous list of the 7 wonders of the world. So you've probably heard about this before.
We're not going to tell you what this means quite yet. Take a listen to today's dialogue, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what these wonders are and where they are.
Have you seen this news article? Apparently, an organization has made a list to name the new 7 wonders of the world, and people could vote for them online.
Wow, that's really interesting. So, who won?
Well, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal in India.
I've been there. It really is an amazing work of architecture and art. The entire complex is made of white marble, and in the interior of the tomb, the walls are covered with gems and emeralds.
Cool. Also amongst the winners is Petra in Jordan, Machu Picchu in Peru, and the pyramid in Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Wait a minute. It also says that the Christ Redeemer statue in Brazil and the Colosseum in Rome are wonders. I would love to go to Italy and see the Colosseum, stand in the middle like a gladiator.
Well, let's see if we can find some cheap airfare and we can go towards the end of the year.
Good idea.
All right, we're back. So let's talk about these very interesting places all over the world. Now on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So the set phrase for this, Marco, is the 7 wonders of the world. Mm-hmm. Now, the key here is the word wonder. What is a wonder?
Right. A wonder is something very amazing, incredible. It's something that's beyond your imagination almost.
That's right. You can't even imagine how man or how someone created it. Mm-hmm. And so wonderful is a similar word. That's an adjective, something that's just great. Mm-hmm. Fantastic is wonderful. A wonder is something very, very special. And here we have 7 of them.
That's right. So it's a list basically that you can see even online about these wonders all over the world, and they're so special because they are amazing works of art and architecture. And starting off with one of the most famous ones is in China. It's the Great Wall of China.
I think what's special about this, I've heard, is that when astronauts are in space, it's so long and so distinct, they can actually see the Great Wall.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. It's a very long wall, thousands of kilometers long.
That's right, and it goes east to west all across the northern border of China.
That's right. So it's a very big wall. And what's interesting about it is that it was built such a long time ago and that the techniques used to make it were very special.
That's right. And sometimes you might hear us talk about the Great Wall instead of the Great Wall of China. And so that's just a hint. It's easy to say Great Wall. You can say them both ways, though.
Exactly. Now, moving west towards India, we have another very amazing work of architecture. It's called the Taj Mahal.
Now, the Taj Mahal is in North India in a city called Agra. And it's very special because it's massive. It's very big. And it's all white marble.
That's right. And it's interesting because this place, the Taj Mahal, is not really a temple. It was actually a tomb.
All right. Now, that's an interesting word to look at. A tomb is a place where we bury someone. You know, after someone dies, maybe if you have a lot of money, you're very rich, you want to put that body in a very special sacred place, and that's called a tomb.
That's right. So this is actually what the Taj Mahal is. Now, we saw in the dialogue that the entire complex of the Taj Mahal is made of white marble. So when we talk about the entire complex, what do we mean?
Well, complex here is a noun. You might have heard it in other situations where it's an adjective. It means something different. But here a complex means many buildings together, right? So you can say the Taj Mahal is one building, but the Taj Mahal complex maybe has 4 or 5 buildings together. So
right.
A side temple and a gatehouse. And so we say a complex is a grouping of buildings.
That's right. Very good. So now let's move on. Let's take a look at Language Takeaway Part 2, and let's continue talking about these wonders of the world.
Now, the top of our list in Language Takeaway Part 2 is actually a place I would love to go to. I've never been there. It's in Jordan, which is a country in the Middle East, and it's called Petra.
Petra, that's right. This is actually a city, but it's also known as the lost city of Petra, right?
That's right. And what's unique about this city is that the city is built. It's carved out of stone in this cliff. So it's not just pieces of stone put together. It's actually inside the rocks.
Exactly. So it's very famous. You've probably seen it in movies like Indiana Jones. There's a big part of the scenes that go on inside Petra.
Very special place, and again, very unique. Now, the next site is actually very far away in South America, and again, it's ancient and very intricate. It's called Machu Picchu.
That's right. So this is in one of those very old cities that are actually in ruins now. And the interesting thing about it is that it's very high up in like a little mountain.
And those mountains there, those are the Andes, right?
That's right. So Machu Picchu, also a very famous place. Many visitors from all over the world go there as well. And another main attraction around the world are the pyramids. So we have some pyramids in Egypt. I think those are the most well-known ones.
That's right. The pyramids in Egypt, like the pyramid at Giza, are very big structures. I mean, they're huge, and they were built thousands of years ago, but they're still here because they were built so well. But there are also very famous pyramids, like the one we heard about today in the dialogue, in Mexico.
That's right. It's a little bit different, though, because the pyramids, as most of us know them, they're very smooth on the sides, you would say.
Yeah, you can't climb on them, really, right?
Well, this one in Mexico actually has kind of like steps. So it's a different type of pyramid, but the shape is very similar.
All right, so the pyramids here are in a place called Chichen Itza. You might have heard of that. And we have another place, though, which is also in South America, in the city of Rio de Janeiro. Now, this one is actually a statue, right?
That's right. It's called the Christ Redeemer. It's a very big statue, very famous. You've seen it maybe in pictures. It's a statue of Jesus with his arms open.
Now, the word redeemer, okay, a redeemer is a person, someone who does something, who redeems. What does it mean to be a redeemer?
Well, a redeemer is a person that saves souls, for example. So if you redeem yourself, you're redeeming yourself of your sins, maybe.
Well, yeah, you're taking value back, right? And so in the case of Jesus, he is taking away the sins of the world, and he's redeeming, that's why his arms are out. He's redeeming all people. And that's the idea, I think, behind the Christ Redeemer. So the verb statue.
Redeem, like you can use it in everyday life. If you take a coupon and you redeem it.
That means you collect the value.
You collect the value, right? So you can use it, actually, this word in everyday life.
You can.
And moving on now towards Europe, we have the famous Colosseum.
Ooh, now I love this one. I've actually been there, and I know you have too recently.
Yes.
But this is a circular, like a round stadium. So it's a place where you play sports. Well, you did. It's from, thousands of years ago, the Roman Empire. And it's in very good shape, I would say. You can still see it.
Yeah, so it's generally called the Colosseum, although a Colosseum, as we know it now, can also be the same thing, right? A structure where sports or activities are played.
Basically, yeah, a Colosseum is an old stadium. But the Colosseum, like you said, is definitely the Colosseum in Rome.
That's right. And we've probably seen movies of ancient Rome where sports or activities were taking place, specifically gladiator fights. So that's our word there, gladiator.
Yeah, that's right. So a gladiator is actually a person. And a gladiator was a man who thousands of years ago during the Roman Empire would fight maybe other men or animals. And he had to fight to stay alive.
So that was his profession, basically, to be a gladiator. So now as you are a boxer, back then you were a gladiator.
Yeah, and there are actually some very famous movies about gladiators, like the movie Gladiator with Russell Crowe. So it's a pretty common word these days.
That's right. Okay, so let's take a break. Let's listen to our dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit.
Have you seen this news article? Apparently, an organization has made a list to name the new 7 wonders of the world, and people could vote for them online.
Wow, that's really interesting. So, who won?
Well, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal in India.
I've been there. It really is an amazing work of architecture and art. The entire complex is made of white marble, and in the interior of the tomb, the walls are covered with gems and emeralds.
Cool. Also amongst the winners is Petra in Jordan, Machu Picchu in Peru, and the pyramid in Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Wait a minute. It also says that the Christ Redeemer statue in Brazil and the Colosseum in Rome are wonders. I would love to go to Italy and see the Colosseum, stand in the middle like a gladiator.
Well, let's see if we can find some cheap airfare and we can go towards the end of the year.
Good idea.
All right, so this list that we gave you are actually the new 7 wonders of the world. It was voted online, people all over the world out of different candidates or different places that were considered to be the new 7 wonders of the world. Among those, like some of them that didn't win, for example, was Angkor Wat in Cambodia.
Yeah, I never understood that. You know, I think Angkor Wat is such an amazing place and so big, and it was the heart of this old civilization.
Right.
And instead, we have other things like a statue.
Yeah.
It's
I don't agree
strange.
with it as well. But actually, the Statue of Liberty of the United States was also considered as a candidate for a wonder of the
Interesting.
world.
Well, that's right. America doesn't have any wonders.
You have
Sad.
natural wonders, I think. The Grand Canyon is considered, I think, one of
Yes.
the natural wonders.
Yes, and I think Niagara Falls also
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But that's an interesting point, though, Marco. We've got the great wonders of the world, and we've got the natural wonders. What's
Right.
the difference?
Well, a natural wonder of the world means that it's there naturally. It's not man-made. All of these things that we see here, somebody had to make them. Whereas, for example, the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls, they are there naturally. It's by nature.
All right, so man-made versus natural or made
Right.
by nature.
Right. So it's very interesting because you have, like we said, natural 7 wonders of the world. You have these, the new ones. You have the ancient world wonders, which like none of them are exist anymore.
That's
I think
right.
only the pyramids.
The gardens
gardens.
the hanging gardens of Babylon and the Colossus at Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are very cool, but not, like you said,
You can't
not
see them
around
anymore.
anymore.
So, but maybe some of you actually, maybe your countries were considered to host one of these wonders, or maybe you voted for some of them.
Yeah, let us know. What is a wonder where you come from? Doesn't have to be on this list. It can be something you think is wonderful. Let us know. Our website is englishpod.com.
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye.